Welcome back to Good Day Big Bear and Find a Home in Big Bear. We're actually doing 2 shots today. We're going to do stats for you here in a little bit. We kind of glanced over those real briefly last week, and then of course Dan just got back from Sacramento for Real Estate Legislator Week up there, and so we'll get an update on what's going on. So make sure you tune in for both of those today. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning, John. How are you? I haven't seen you for a week.
I know. You seem pleased about that.
To some degree.
Some interesting stats this week in every single category. Foreclosures, lots and lands, residential, short sale. The gap between the listed price and the selling price narrowed by almost 1.5 points on every single one of those. In residential, we're now at almost 97% of asking price on the average sale.
That's amazing.
That's pretty good.
Well, and that's just because that market is so thin right now.
Well, the same thing with foreclosures. It went to 98%. 98% of the asking price is what they're closing for.
Yeah.
That's
the foreclosure
incredible.
is foreclosure versus short sale. The foreclosure seems to be a little better way to go anymore.
Right.
You don't wait 6 months for a deal. So.
Well, and I think we're, like you mentioned last week, and probably the week before that, we're losing some of those listings because people are now being able to stay in their home. Thank God.
Right. Yes.
That's a great issue there.
That HARP program has really worked out well for everybody and continues to do so now that it's extended to 2015. Obviously, it is working. So.
Well, how are we looking in foreclosures?
Foreclosures are, it's kind of one of those things that it's no longer become the bad guy, if you will.
It's not 40 or 50
it's not driving our market anymore. The lack of inventory is driving our market now. The difference between the foreclosure and the short sale, obviously more people are into the foreclosure now because that's a fixed price. Within, if you're within 3 to 5% of what they're asking, you're going to get a deal, and they're moving right along. We've got 11 currently listed. Sold to date is 51. 20 of those are cash at 39% of our market. So that number still seems to be
the cash is
good.
It's not fluctuating a great deal.
Cash really pushes the foreclosure.
Right.
Where you see you got 20% in the short sale, but 39% cash in foreclosures because those banks just love that cash.
Sure.
So that people know that. Yeah. And that's where your number's coming from at 98% of the asking price. The average square foot is 1,365 or 35 square feet at 156,000 price range at 117 a square foot.
And the square footage is moving up.
Yes. And that's all because the whole market is moving based on inventory. So at some point, everything looks good to people when there's not enough of anything.
Right.
So that's kind of where we're at in our marketplace right now. The short sales, currently we have 14 currently listed, 21 pending from 69,000 to 685, and only the good Lord knows when those are going to close. So they could just pop in on you anytime. And our and as you see, 90 sold in the foreclosures at 108 per square foot. So that per square footage it shows that that's still the distress line. Right. It's going to hold for a little while until they're all gone. And they'll probably all be gone.
And your days on market for those two are pretty dramatic. I think foreclosures are about half of what short sales are.
And that's because of that whole timeline that you go through when you're trying. A foreclosure, they know exactly what they want. There's a set path that you follow once you open an escrow on that, and it's just one thing after another. When you get into the short sale, you have so many people you're dealing with and trying to pull things from so many variables. So you expect this type of a days on market program, 149 versus 68.
So the short sales are twice as long.
Yes.
And don't you think you've got more John and Mary public looking at short sales and more investor types? I mean, because the cash kind of says that to me. You've got the investor types looking at foreclosures. So it's just a deal. It's not emotional. I'm not in love with the house.
Right.
It's strictly numbers.
And the thing that we're really concerned about now after being at Ledge Week is that we're not getting the reception that we thought we were going to get based on the deficiency program.
Oh, yes,
So
yes.
we're not going to
Oh,
get.
my gosh.
Right now, that is held in suspense, meaning that, and I don't mean
Yeah.
suspenseful.
Yeah.
I mean that it's just shelved.
Yeah.
And
Make sure you tune in for the second segment today on Legislator Week. We'll go into more detail on that.
But
there,
I think that's
but it's-
slowing down that short sale program.
Sure.
Because people are kind of concerned about that.
Well, the
So-
seller doesn't get a break from the state of California.
exactly.
It's a huge deal. Make sure you tune in to our second segment today,
Yeah,
and we'll discuss it
very
in more detail.
interesting.
In residential, that's John and Mary.
Yes.
Public. I love that word.
Where do you get to know John and Mary?
Oh, they're wonderful people. 354 listings, so we're still at that number. That hasn't varied hardly at all. From 58,000 to 3,000,009.
Yeah.
3,990 to be exact. 102 in pending from 998,000 down to 59. 253 sold year to date, 26% of those cash. So we still have 74% are being financed by the
The
banks. that are
finance
out there.
market is starting
Right.
to change, so
We're-
that's a good thing.
We're averaging at last year we were at $178 a foot. This year we're at 177. So we're right there. Days on market on average for a residential home right now is only 111. So kind of right in between your foreclosures and short sales there. 96% of list price.
Yeah.
96%, almost 97.
Well, the interesting
So-
number in there is your 278,000 is your average sale.
Average sales price.
Which is up.
Right.
And as that climbs, that just kind of tells you that the availability on the lower end
Right.
is gone. Investors have pretty much sucked all those up. So your average selling home now is climbing price per square foot,
Right.
climbing a little. It's a good market right now for everybody.
We've had a couple of big transactions in lots and lands in the last couple of weeks that have brought our price per square foot way down. Of course, we've only got a total of 50 sales. So, and we're in May, so it doesn't take much to skew that small number
No,
on
but
the
50
average.
sales is good for this time of year.
Yep, lots of land.
especially.
We're at $144 a foot year to date on average, and our average square foot's 19,213. Quick, how many acres is that?
As many as you want it to be.
No, okay. Days on market, still way up there on lots and lands, averaging 233, and they're getting 87%
Yes.
of list price, which is pretty good for dirt.
I'd like to say that I've talked to a couple contractors that are starting to build spec homes again, which is a great thing to hear, especially on that low end, that they're actually selling them while they're in construction now.
How nice,
So,
how nice.
they're already been tagged and sold, and they're not even done. So,
Well, that must be part of the 20 that are in pending.
yeah.
So there we go. 263 listings from 4,000,003. That's a chunk. That's a big chunk of dirt, down to $4,500. So if you're interested in that, all kinds of stuff. Also on Find a Home in Big Bear, which is our stat site, pretty much. We have our year-to-date updated as it's the first of the month. So you've got year-to-date in every category, which includes government lease, business opportunity, mobile homes, all of them. So you can see where you're at on all these stats for that, as well as the neighborhoods from Baldwin, Fonskin. Every one of the neighborhoods shows your year-to-date stats in there, as well as the current listings for each one of those from the high and the low. We've got investment property, residential investment from 125,000 to 6,000,002. So there's something for everybody. If you want a piece of Big Bear, give us a call. I'm John Wells with Exit Realty.
And I'm Dan Bathurst at 909-878-0522.
And you can go to bigbearexit.com or exitrealtybigbear.com or
Find a home.
exitbigbear.com. You just exit. just Google exit in Big Bear and you'll find us.
Somehow, some way.
And make sure you tune in for the second segment. It's we're going to find out what happened at the legislature. And a new segment coming up on the website is going to be tools for you to use to know more about investing in real estate in Big Bear. I'm John Wells. This is Dan Banhurst.
Yeah,
I haven't said that in forever. Just Danny Boy. Well, I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Have fun.